All right, on to Genesis chapter 10, the descendants of Noah's sons. These are the descendants of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. These three had sons after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras, were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. The descendants of Gomer were the people of Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togmar. The descendants of Javan were the people of Elisha, Spain, Cyprus, and Rhodes. They were the ancestors of the people who live along the coast and on the islands. The islands! I do get a bit tongue-tied with all of these strange places listed. These are the descendants of Japheth living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. The sons of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Libya, and Canaan were the ancestors of the people who bear their names. These descendants of Cush were the people of Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Saptaka. The descendants of Ramah were the people of Sheba and Dedan. Cush had a son named Nimrod, who became the world's first great conqueror. By the Lord's help, he was a great hunter, and that is why people say, "May the Lord make you as great a hunter as Nimrod." At first, his kingdom included Babylon, Erech, and Akkad, all three of them in Babylonia. From that land, he went to Assyria and built the cities of Nineveh, Reboth, Ir, Calah, and Rezin, which is between Nineveh and the great city of Calah. You're going to have to remember that. The descendants of Egypt were the people of Lydia, Enam, Lehab, Nephthah, Pathros, Kaslah, and Crete, from whom the Palestines are descended. Canaan's son Sidon, the oldest, and Heth were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Jebusites, the Amorites, and the Girgashites, the Hivites, and the Arkites, and the Sidonites, and the Arvadites, and the Zemarites, and the Hamathites, and the different tribes of the Canaanites spread out until the Canaanite borders reached the Sidon, southward to Gerar and near Gaza, and eastward to Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim near Lasha. These are the descendants of Ham, living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. How did they come up with so many languages so quickly, you think? How was that? That they separated and came up with their own languages. Do you think it was languages that they were talking about specifically, or do you think that it was symbolic? Something to think about. Sometimes I never know whether I should take the Bible symbolically or literally. Shem, the older brother of Japheth, was the ancestor of all the Hebrews. Shem's sons, Elam, Ashur, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram, were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. The descendants of Aram were the people of Uz, Hul, Gether, and Meshech. Arpachshad was the father of Shelah, who was the father of Eber. Eber had two sons. One was named Peleg, and because during his time the people of the world were divided, and the other was named Joktan. The descendants of Joktan were the people of Alamadad, Sheleph, and Hazarmaveth, and Jerah, and Hadaram, and Uzal, and Diklah, Obal, Adamael, Sheba, Obar, Havilah, and Jabab. All of them were descended from Joktan. All of them. The land in which they lived extended from Mesha to Sephar in the eastern hill country. These are the descendants of Shem, living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. All these peoples are the descendants of Noah, nation by nation, according to their different lines of descent. After the flood, all nations of the earth were descended from the sons of Noah. And that's that. They were all descended from the sons of Noah. Because God had to start all over because the world was full of sin. That is why it's very important that we try our very best not to sin, because God is trying to show us mercy by not destroying the world again with water. He also said that he'll never destroy the world again based upon the actions of humanity. So, I'm not sure what his reason would be to destroy the world again if he decided to do it again and didn't want to do it with water. What would he do it with next? Fire, and why? I'm trying to understand this as well. Yes, I've read the whole Bible through and through. I'm a nun. I'm just trying to get you thinking. Use your brain.